Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday of the Word of Encouragement. Today I'd like to go back to the Old Testament, to the prophecy of Isaiah. In the middle of Isaiah, we have a historical section that focuses on Hezekiah in particular. Hezekiah was facing the onslaught of the powerful king of Assyria. And the Sennacherib was very powerful, very ruthless. When you study the Assyrian Empire, when you study the kings of Assyria, you find one of the most brutal regimes in all of ancient history and modern history. And of course, the Assyrians took out to the northern kingdom. And now you have Judah left. And it would seem, humanly speaking, that Judah had no hope under Hezekiah. But the difference here was that Hezekiah knew God. And Hezekiah went to the Lord in prayer. And we read in chapter 37 of Isaiah in verse 1, "And it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it," speaking of what had been said by the messenger that had come from King Assyria mocking Hezekiah and the God of Israel, when he heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he cries out to the Lord and for the honor of God, and asked God to hear what had been said. And then the servants of the king went to Isaiah. And what an encouragement in verse 6. "And Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say unto your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, wherewith the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. Be not afraid." You know, when we're trusting the Lord, we can know that he's going to work. And this was something to be afraid of humanly. It was not good. But this onslaught against Hezekiah was something that God was not going to allow. And this most powerful king in all the world at that time was going to be overthrown by God himself. And the wonderful story that comes later of how the angel of the Lord destroyed the hosts of Sennacherib, and he went back and he was destroyed himself. And God took care of the situation. Let me just say, oftentimes we have ideas of how we want situations to occur and to be handled. But we can trust God that he will work all things together, and he will be for his own glory and for his own purposes working. And if we will trust him, we don't need to be afraid. He will give us peace that's supernatural. It oftentimes is hard not to be afraid. But we can be encouraged in the fact that when we humble ourselves like King Hezekiah did and fall before him and say, Lord, I'm putting my trust in you, he's always going to answer back, be not afraid. I will answer you.